Hi, my name's Ben Mattis. I'm the producer on Prince of Persia, and today I'm going to take you into the studio and you're going to see behind the scenes the development of this incredible game. But first, a little treat just for you. It's a little known fact that all of the incredible moves we feature in Prince of Persia are actually based off of me, right here in my special place. I'm going to show you some of these incredible moves in action right now. You ready? Here we go. Okay. So kids, don't try this at home. I'm a trained professional. Prince of Persia, here we go.
The speed, the rhythm, it's like poetry in motion, like I said. I am a trained athlete.
In the new Prince of Persia, there are 5 really important points. First of all, it's an all-new prince. There's no chronological connection with the previous Prince of Persia. It's a new adventure, it's a new world, it's a new universe. This is a new story we're trying to tell. Second of all, it's no longer a linear game. In previous Prince of Persias, basically if you played through once, you'd seen all there was to see. In this game, you choose the order that you explore the world. You choose the order that the events unfold. Next, Elika. She's a big innovation for the Prince of Persia franchise and the action-adventure genre in general. She's an AI character who supports you everywhere you go, follows you in everything that you're doing, and really is tightly integrated into the gameplay. We wanted to completely reinvent how combat works in action-adventure games. You've never seen a fighting system like this in an action-adventure. It's you and Elika against one enemy, and every fight feels like a boss battle. And finally, the artistic direction. Whenever people look at our game, obviously it's the first thing they notice, the look and feel. We have a unique artistic direction that we call illustrative for what we believe is a very unique game.
Late. Do you know what it means? Late again. This meeting has been scheduled like for days. Weeks. You knew it. You answered, I'll be there. Where were you? Again, in the park, lost, talking to pigeons or whatever? Things you do all the time? Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to Ubisoft Montreal. I'm the CEO of Ubisoft Studio, actually. Welcome to the Prince of Persia making of. This is Ben. Ben is the producer, has been and still is the producer actually on the project. So he'll be with us to explain you all the behind the scenes for that game. Awesome game. Huh? Game?
Yep,
Yeah.
game. Yep, Prince of Persia, producer, that's me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you why I
You are late?
still have a job here at Ubisoft and why I shouldn't be fired. No, I'm gonna tell you why Prince of Persia is the game of the year.
Yep, tell us that. Yep.
Okay. As I've said, this is an all-new Prince. What we're trying really hard to do is to establish him as the benchmark heroic action-adventure character. When you look at his character design, it's carefully crafted to give you that feeling of confidence. He's very, shall we say, badass. He's got this cool metallic gauntlet. He's got that really cool long sword. He's got a kind of very heroic stance when he moves through the game world. The other really important character is Elika. In the game, she can do what the prince can do in many instances. When they're fighting, she's able to jump in and do some pretty cool magical attacks on her own. So we needed to build up that strong personality in her as well. It's her and the prince who are cooperating, who are collaborating, that make them the sort of dynamic duo that they need to be in order to succeed in this quest.
Hi everybody, I am the Prince of Persia.
Alright guys, so now I'm going to do a walkthrough of the actual floor, and we're going to start with the story team. The story team's job is basically to take the playable world and populate it with little bits of story, cinematics, scripted events, dialogue between the prince and Elika.
wanted to keep a feeling that we had with the previous Prince of Persia's, where it's got quite an epic feel to it. We've changed the character quite a bit. He's a very different prince than the one that you've seen before. As we arrive in the story, he's returning from a rather successful treasure hunting trip, which then goes rather drastically wrong when he loses all of the treasure on the way home, and he meets a strange girl who he's never met before. One of the things that again we've done with Prince of Persia is a lot of people enjoy the gameplay. What they're able to do in Prince of Persia is they can access bits of the story by pressing an on-demand dialogue button, and that allows the prince to talk to Elika. They can actually talk to Elika, choose to talk to Elika at any point through, and how all of that unfolds depends upon which order you decide to complete the game. It's a really enjoyable part of the process, I've got to say.
Next, we're going to talk about the world team, level design and level art, and that's just over here. By far the largest team we have on Prince of Persia is what we call the world team. The world team is made up of two groups, level designers and level artists. The level designers are responsible for making the actual gameplay. They create the world geometry, which is what the prince and Elika actually run and move on when you're playing the game. The level artists take that very basic geometry and make it look beautiful, make it look like the final game you're actually playing. That team is probably somewhere upwards of about 70 people. We've got about almost 20 level designers and nearly 50 level artists. Each region has its own little sub-world team working on it. So the level designers and the level artists have been working on that one region for almost their entire duration on this project. And they're responsible for making sure that the gameplay within that region is the type of gameplay we want in terms of the behaviors, in terms of the moves that you're doing, and the artists in that region also know how to make that region really pop. Those groups have been working very closely together for months and months and months. So our lead level designer, our lead creative director, our lead artist are responsible for sort of playing the whole world through and making sure that each individual area has excellent acrobatic flow, that the visuals are, stellar, but also that the world as a whole connects and that flow extends not just in a micro area, but throughout the entire world. One of the first things people notice when they see Prince of Persia in action is the fact that it doesn't look like any game they've ever seen before. We have a very unique artistic direction or look and feel, and we call it illustrative. And historically, we would take these concept artwork and we would give it to the 3D artists, and they would try and draw inspiration from it. We really wanted to create an artistic direction that did justice to the incredible poetry, if you will, the amazing artistic vision of these illustrations, and try and create a video game that literally looks and feels like you are playing within one of these illustrations, that the video game you are playing is like a painting brought to life. And that's where we came up with the name Illustrative. It's born of an illustration. It wouldn't be a making of about Prince of Persia if we didn't talk about animation. So sitting behind me here is David Wilkinson. What are some of the kind of challenges that you as an animation director had to overcome?
It's a different game. It's not the same game. It's a different look. So you can't use the same animations. And then at the same time, that means we have to use like fundamental animation principles like overlap and anticipation and just all these things that are very, very hard to get in the games because you always want like immediate response. Elika is contrast to Prince, and we need this contrast. We need him, when he does a wall run, he grabs the wall, he's like, grunting his way along, he uses his hands a lot. We want the opposite. But the problem is you have to try and disguise what is basically the prince's moves by making it a girl. And so it's like, how would the prince do this if he was a chick? It's creating a relationship without breaking the mood and the style of the game.
When we started Prince of Persia, we wanted something that was very all-encompassing. So it wasn't just your environment was one challenge and the villain was another challenge. And the idea that we're pursuing is that Ahriman is this ancient evil god of corruption who has basically been let loose. He was imprisoned and he's been let loose. And he's infected the entire world with his corruption. In the various forms of corruption that you encounter in the game, it provides a gameplay challenge, but also a story element as well. And as you progress through the game, you are encountering various increasing levels of this corruption.
So we really wanted to go for the versus, like one-on-one fighting game type of mechanics without it being a fighting game mechanic. We still needed it to be accessible. Like you said, it's an action-adventure game, right? So we couldn't go into a full-on hardcore versus fighting game mechanic because it just wouldn't fit in. So we really went in and just drew inspiration from those games, but keeping in mind the aspects that made the Prince, and also really focus on a intelligent aspect for our enemies. That was the important thing. Make these guys believable. There's no point in having this long list of combos that you have to memorize and be like, okay, wait, what was that combo? And then give it a fictional name. So it was very important for us to keep that accessible. So the way we structured all that combo list was so that essentially you remember a certain pattern, but no matter what family tree you're in within the combos, the patterns are similar. Every move will branch to another move until you get further down the combo chain.
When you get the finishing moves.
The finishing moves,
Yeah.
where certain branches begin to become more limited.
All right, so that's combat, and we're gonna wrap up today, so let's go. We've been working on Prince of Persia for 2.5 years. It's been a challenging 2.5 years, but I hope you guys all agree when the game comes out that it's been well worth it. I really can't wait to hear what you all think when you finally get your hands on it. I gotta get back to work, so thanks for sharing your time with us, and thanks for checking out how the game is made, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you next time, so thanks. Hey, we'll see you next time.